Hello and welcome to the JS AI Buildathon. In this quest, you will be working on MCP servers, and the idea is to be able to add tools to your agentic application. How do you do this? First of all, you need some prerequisites: a GitHub account, Visual Studio Code installed, as well as Node.js. You will also need an Azure subscription because you're using models from Azure. And lastly, you will need the Azure Developer CLI. And the goal of this quest is to guide you through the process of creating an agent with tools from an MCP server. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and it helps you add in additional tools to your agent. So the first thing you'll need to do is to add a tool compatible model. So first of all, you'll need to figure out which model supports the different tools. Models like GPT-4o are good to use. We are using the AI Toolkit extension in Visual Studio Code. So you'll head over to the extension. It has an icon like this, then go to your catalog and select models. Here you'll see the different model providers. You can select GPT-4.1 or GPT-4o, whichever one tickles your fancy. And then the next step is to create an agent. Under the Tools tab, go to the Agent Prompt Builder and open the Agent Builder view. This is what you'll encounter: one, the model, the prompts, variables, tools, and the structure of your output. So the idea behind this is we're going to configure our model using the different sections to ensure our agentic application does what we want it to do. So you'll go in and create a new builder. And once you click on that, select the model you want. And for the prompts, add this simple prompt where you want it to provide real-time updates and insights about your operating system. That is what our tool will be doing. So when you ask the first prompt, what is my machine type, it might probably return something like, I don't know what your type is. So that is the first prompt you're using. And you want to test it. So when we go in and test it out, it will tell you I don't have access to your system. And the last bit is you will also need to choose the output format. It can be text, it can be JSON. So you run it out and it will tell you I have no clue what your system is. So the next bit will be now adding tools to your agent. So on the tools section, you'll select Add MCP Server and you'll add a new server configuration. And the server configuration you'll be doing is creating a new MCP server. And the type of the MCP server you're doing, because we're using JavaScript, is the TypeScript weather, which is a weather tools application. This is just like the base you can be able to use. Once that's done, select a folder to save the MCP server template and input the name Node.OS MCP. Once that's done, you would open a new window with the MCP server. So this is how it will look like. You then need to go in and build the MCP server. First of all, we update the server TypeScript file where you replace the template code with the following. We also want to create a new instance of an MCP server and also have the definition of the CPU average usage tool that returns the average CPU usage of the system. Once that's done, we also want it to get the hostname that returns what the hostname of the system is, and then we also get the architecture that returns the architecture of the system, and lastly the uptime that returns the uptime of the system. Once that is done, export the server instance to use it in the index TypeScript file. We'll then debug the agent builder. This will help us be able to run it and see if it's working. So we'll click on the debug in agent builder, and then under the tools, we'll add our tool and then click on run. You will see the different tools that we added: the CPU average usage, guest hostname, architecture, and uptime. So when you run now, the output will be something different. So if you run the previous prompt, what is my machine type, and run, it will use the get architecture tool to get the machine type, which might be something like ARM64. Your machine type is ARM64 architecture. we wanted to add more details. So to ensure we simulate a natural conversation and maintain the context, add the prompts that you've already used under the model response to add the response from the agent as an assistant prompt. And then now when you run it again or use a new user prompt, the previous response will be included in the prompt and the model will reference it for conversational history. So now when you run it again, the output will be, this is the entirety of the details of what your system is. And once that's done, you're done with the MCP Server section. As usual, once you're done with the quest, go ahead and you have Node OS MCP folder in your packages directory. Go ahead and do git commit to stage your changes and push your changes to GitHub. Wait about 15 seconds for GitHub Actions to update your README, and you will have successfully added MCP tools into your agent. That's it for this section. See you in the next quest.